Hey guys, this is your, sorry, incense everywhere. This is your Sunday host Stacey, and this is week 3 for the topic, do we buy our spirituality? I'm just going to briefly cover this video because I'm out for Father's Day, so I'll just give my quick opinion on it. I think with the pagan religion as a umbrella, all the religions underneath, because it's a very practical religion. It's very hands-on, like, you don't just go to sit to watch like in a church and stuff. You actually get involved in the religion itself, and that can result in, the obvious, that you have to buy things. If you're a solitary Wiccan or a solitary pagan, things are going to be needed for your path, tools and whatnot. So no matter which way you look at it, you're gonna find yourself having to buy something. Not necessarily, there is a way around it of like literally making everything yourself, but when things are handed to you on a plate, when such beautifully made things are available to buy, a lot of younger people especially are drawn in by pretty things, and that can be a big help for people starting off in a religion, is like the appeal of buying stuff like that. And it's not like the best way of being drawn into religion, but I know that a lot of younger people would be drawn into things like a crystal ball or stuff like that. But I think with the spirituality itself, I don't believe that we buy our spirituality with books, because obviously if you're a solitary Wiccan, that's what you're going to need. There's nothing wrong with buying a book. That does not mean you're buying your spirituality. Obviously we've got to learn somewhere, and I do not rely on sources at all from the internet most of the time. With things like incense, they are, we have to buy them, but it doesn't half put us in the mood. It's relaxing. It's buying like things like this that like help us with our spirituality. And there's a lot of people that are very very visually, that's the way they learn. So it's good to have practical things given to them to help them learn along their path. As you grow older, you might not need to buy things. There's a lot of people that say that you won't need tools as you go on and stuff, but they're really good, to start off with, to give you the visual, like say, instead of using your finger as a wand or anathema, it's helping to visualize what you're putting out by a wand of like, I don't know where it is, but this is not really what I wanted to show you, but like a wand that's done like this, it's pretty, it's appealing, and it just visually helps you instead of your finger, because you wouldn't associate your finger sometimes with a wand. For the beginners, it's helpful to have something practical like that to use, so you go out and buy it. There are ways of getting around it. You can use like one that I use, which is just a piece of wood, driftwood, and I prefer that. If you can find something that connects with you like that from earth, then yeah. But I see no problem with people going out and buying candles instead of making them yourself, because obviously it's not practical for certain people to be able to have the time to make them, and also you're buying the materials to make a candle, so there's only so far you can go with being, especially when there's so much to buy to help you along. But again, going back to the fact that Wicca and paganism, the tools that are used, because the religion is a very practical one, unlike other religions where you literally have a Bible, you can go to church, and you don't necessarily need anything apart from the cross. I don't know, that's just my personal opinion from seeing my mum. She has a Bible, she wears a cross, but she doesn't necessarily need anything else for her religion. She goes to church, she prays, that's all she needs. And you can be like that in Wicca. You only need a book of shadows and your mind to connect with the deities and the divine, and to use spells. You can pretty much go out into the earth, grab a load of things and use that for elements, and cast a circle with your finger and stuff like that. There are ways of doing it, because to put it in a, not too much of a don't dislike this, but like, it's a very pretty religion, you know. We value the earth and we value all its things and stuff like that, but we also like having the symbolisms for everything that we do. It's a very symbolic religion, you know, so to represent the goddess, a cauldron is, you know, necessary. Maybe not one like this, massive. That's not really necessary, but as I said, if you watch my other channel, I'm a shopaholic when it comes to buying anything appealing like that. It does get used. I do use it for fire festivals and stuff like that, so things like that, it just appeals to you naturally. As a materialistic human being, you are going to feel drawn to having symbolic things on your altar to symbolise, to help you connect with the god and goddess. Like, for instance, having elemental symbols, you know, buying the wind chimes, buying candles, and then going out and finding natural objects, having a crystal ball for divination and stuff like that. It's all there to help you with your spirituality, to help your intent, to help your mind focus and bring something into real life. It's not there to buy our, you know, to make our spirituality. It's there to help us along the way. So I don't believe we buy a religion at all. I just be our spirituality, sorry. I truly believe that books are there to help us learn, and items are there, whether you choose to spend money on it or go out into the beach and find it, all those items are there for you to visualise what you want and to help you connect. And I don't really think there's much else to say on that, to be honest. Yeah, buying, and that's how I viewed the question anyway. Do we buy our spirituality, as in, like, do we buy our books or do we buy our tools to help us? It is a very practical religion, and we're going to need to buy things at some point, if you choose to, or people will choose to go out and find things. It's just total personal preference, I believe, anyway. So yeah, I think that's what the question was aimed at anyway. I don't believe in any way that we would be able to have half the resources we used to, which is acceptable for the fact that some people had to be taught by someone else to learn their spirituality or their path. But right now there's so many resources, and for people that aren't aware of other people being Wiccans and pagans and being able to meet up with people, it's completely practical to buy a book, completely practical to learn your religion out of a book and through internet and through meeting other people. But for the solitary Wiccan, there's nothing wrong with buying a book, buying your tools to help you learn visually. So yeah, I think that's it for this week's topic. I hope I haven't rambled on, and I'll see you next Sunday. Blessed be.